When our last episode ended, Egypt's pyramid story had stretched south to Nubia and Meroe, but the idea of building mountains from earth and stone was never Egypt's alone. Long before Khufu, long before Imhotep carved the first step pyramid at Saqqara, another people had already begun stacking clay toward the heavens. In the flat floodplains between the Tigris and Euphrates, the Sumerians of Mesopotamia built the world's first sky staircases, the ziggurats. A ziggurat was not a tomb, nor a temple exactly, but both and more. Rising tier upon tier, with a shrine perched on top, it was meant to bridge earth and heaven. While Egyptian pyramids sealed the dead inside, Mesopotamian ziggurats opened upward for the living gods to descend. Two civilizations, two rivers, two visions of eternity, one built for resurrection, the other for communion. The earliest ziggurats date to around 3100 BCE in cities like Eridu and Uruk. At first they were simple platforms of sun-dried brick, raising temples above floodwaters. Over centuries they grew higher and grander, becoming artificial mountains in a land without natural ones. By the time of Ur-Nammu, around 2100 BCE, the ziggurat had reached full form. A massive step tower, each terrace receding toward the sky, stairways climbing its flanks, and a gleaming shrine crowning its summit. The most famous survivor is the ziggurat of Ur. Restored by archaeologists in the 20th century, its brick terraces still rise against the desert. In antiquity, it would have soared over 30 meters, coated in bitumen and brightly painted, visible for miles. At its top stood a temple to Nanna, the moon god. Ur's priests climbed daily to offer sacrifices and incense, believing the god's presence descended along the ramp each night. Imagine the glow of torches flickering upward through the dust, the first human skyline. Construction techniques differed from Egypt's. Mesopotamia lacked hard stone. Its builders used millions of mudbricks, sometimes faced with fired bricks for strength. Bitumen served as mortar and waterproofing. The core often eroded, so kings rebuilt ziggurats repeatedly, each new layer encasing the old. Excavations show inscriptions claiming divine mandate. Kings built to reach the heavens, to link earth with Anu, the sky god. These are humanity's earliest written statements of architectural ambition. Cuneiform tablets describe processions up the ziggurat with music, offerings, and prayers. Some ceremonies marked new moons, others reenacted myths of creation. The climb itself was symbolic. Each level represented a cosmic zone, earth, sky, and the realms of the gods. To ascend was to approach divinity. Where Egyptians mapped eternity in geometry, Mesopotamians acted it out in ritual steps. The ziggurat's influence spread. Babylon's Etemenanki, whose name means house of the foundation of heaven and earth, was legendary even in antiquity. It rose more than 90 meters, a seven-tiered tower glazed in colors symbolizing planets. Greek travelers later transformed its memory into the story of the Tower of Babel, a cautionary myth of pride. Ironically, what the Bible framed as hubris was in truth devotion. The Babylonians were not challenging the gods, they were building a landing platform for them. Archaeology at Etemenanki and Bosepa confirms the pattern. Colossal cores of baked brick, stairways, ramps, and corner alignments matching cardinal directions. Clay tablets record maintenance crews and temple economies that rivaled royal administrations. Ziggurats were the centers of city life, anchoring faith and commerce alike. Compare this to the Egyptian pyramids we've explored through episodes 1 to 20. Both cultures sought permanence, both aligned to cosmic order. Yet their goals diverged. Egyptian pyramids aimed inward, protecting a single soul's journey beyond death. Mesopotamian ziggurats aimed outward, inviting divine presence into daily life. One was a vault, the other a stage. Still, connections exist. Both traditions rose from floodplains rich in mud and symbol. Both equated height with holiness. Both reflected a belief that order flowed from the heavens down to earth. Even their names echoed the same longing. Ziggurat comes from the Akkadian zigguratu, to rise high. The Egyptian benben stone, the pyramid's sacred apex, meant to shine. Rise and shine, two verbs that summarize civilization's oldest dream. Ziggurats also mark humanity's first experiment with planned vertical space. Each terrace may have held gardens or storerooms. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon, one of the seven wonders, may have been a mythologized ziggurat adorned with greenery. If so, the world's first skyscraper was also its first rooftop garden. By the first millennium BCE, Assyrian kings like Sennacherib restored ancient ziggurats as symbols of legitimacy. Even as empires rose and fell, the stepped tower remained a constant, the architectural language of divine kingship. When Alexander the Great reached Babylon, he ordered Etemenanki rebuilt. Death claimed him before work began, but the impulse endured. Rulers across time still equate building upward with touching eternity. And here is how this ties to our own journey. In episode 20, we saw the Nubian pyramids, Egypt's legacy carried south. In episode 21, we turn east to Mesopotamia, discovering a parallel legacy born even earlier. These towers of clay prefigured the stone mountains of Giza. Humanity has always built upward, not to escape Earth, but to connect it to the sky. Now pause and picture it. Thousands of bricks laid by hand, each one drying in the desert sun, each one carrying a thumbprint of a worker who believed that height could summon holiness. Sound familiar? It should. The same spirit built the Great Pyramid, the same spirit built cathedrals, and the same spirit is building algorithms and satellites today. The materials change, the impulse does not. Ziggurats decayed faster than pyramids, their bricks melting back into the plains. Yet their memory persisted, in Babylonian myths, in Jewish scripture, in Islamic minarets that still echo their shape. Even modern architecture owes them a debt. Every tiered skyscraper is a ziggurat reborn in steel and glass. And speaking of heights, help this channel climb its next tier. Tap like, tap subscribe, and raise this digital ziggurat one layer higher. No bitumen required. In episode 22, we'll cross oceans to the Americas, where other civilizations, unknown to Mesopotamia or Egypt, raised their own stepped pyramids. Different gods, different continents, same impulse, to build a stairway between earth and sky,